Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an early broadcast of Jerusalem's Gate. It's still wee hours of the morning, sitting here drinking my coffee and just got some news for you. But before I get started, I'd like to really once again thank my new subscribers. And, that's the best way you can support Jerusalem's Gate. Since we do not make any money off our channel, we do not collect any money, we don't ask for any of your money. The best way to support Jerusalem's Gate is to subscribe and to comment and get some, that's the best way. We do this, the long hours, the many hours upon hours that it takes to research and to edit and to put a video together. We do all that for the love of getting the world news out with a Christian perspective. We love the gospel here at Jerusalem's Gate, and we try to work to make sure you get the news out as fairly possible, as fast and accurate as possible. Not saying that we're perfect, but we strive to give you the accurate news the best we can and what the information we're given. But the best thing you can do for Jerusalem's Gate is subscribe and comment and give us a thumbs up. Again, we will never ask for your money or anything like that. We're not here for that. God takes care of us in other ways. But on to the article. I got a couple of videos that I came across that I'm going to play after this article. And one of it regards Ghouta, and another one regards Afrin. But this is out of Haaretz. 600 Syrians killed in strikes on the besieged Ghouta since February, UN says. Well, actually, it's more than 600. It's in the upper 600s. And over 120 children. Can you believe it? 120 children have died in just the past few weeks, the past 3 weeks. It's amazing. It's amazing the human rights atrocities and the crimes against humanity atrocities that's being done. And the world sits idly by while all this is done. I think it's really a shame that the world hasn't stopped this. Let's dive into the article. What do you say? The Syrian government is planning to crush the last major rebel stronghold near Damascus, seeing thousands of civilians fleeing in eastern Ghouta in preparation. Thousands of civilians have fled advances by Syrian government forces in eastern Ghouta over the last 2 days, a war monitor and a resident said on Sunday, as Damascus wages an offensive to crush the last major rebel enclave near the capital. Nearly 600 people have been killed in air and ground strikes on Syria's besieged Ghouta since February, and more than 2,000 were injured, the UN has reported. A commander in the military alliance that backs Syrian President Bashar Assad said government forces needed to advance just a few more miles into the enclave to split it in two. A UN humanitarian official said 400,000 people in eastern Ghouta were being subject to unacceptable, quote, collective punishment, and called for the implementation of a 30-day ceasefire demanded by the UN Secretary Council. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's no doubt that there needs to be a ceasefire that needs to be obeyed. I tell you, it's really becoming a carnage and a slaughter for what's happening in Ghouta. Seems like eastern Ghouta, Afrin, so many places have been targeted, and so many innocent people have been wrongfully killed. But I got a couple of videos here I want to show you, and with that we close. We thank you. The videos are coming up next, and before I finish this article, I want to thank you for subscribing, my new subscribers. Welcome aboard. We love to have you. And if you haven't subscribed, hey, give us a chance. You may like the channel, and we try to do a good job for you here, that's for sure. But here's a couple of videos that I rounded up, and that's coming up right now.
Amid the onslaught, hundreds of civilians are reportedly fleeing for their lives within eastern Ghouta. They are said to have sought shelter in the heart of the rebel stronghold, away from areas where Syrian government fighters have seized ground, recapturing up to 25% of the enclave. This video uploaded to social media is thought to show aid workers caught up in an airstrike moments after putting a wounded man in the back of an ambulance. The UN says since February 18th, nearly 600 people have been killed in air and ground strikes on the besieged enclave near Damascus, and more than 2,000 injured. In a statement it says violence has escalated and that collective punishment of civilians is simply unacceptable.
Turkey's Afrin operation continued full force on Saturday. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights stated that Turkish warplanes had killed 36 people in Afrin. The YPG stated that Syrian pro-government troops known as Popular Forces had also been hit by Turkish airstrikes in the early hours of Saturday morning. These Popular Forces had arrived to support the YPG against Turkish attacks. There was also an announcement made by the Turkish Prime Minister Binali Yildirim. He stated that Turkey had captured the town of Rajo from militants. He also stated that Afrin was now surrounded and that Turkey had cleared the border areas in Afrin from terrorists. Now, the Turkish army has lost over 40 of its soldiers since the beginning of the operation. Meanwhile, attacks by the Syrian government forces on rebel-held areas in eastern Ghouta also continued. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights stated that the Syrian government took almost complete control of the town of Al-Shaifunia on Saturday. Eastern Ghouta is now considered a humanitarian disaster, with over 600 civilians being killed in just 2 weeks. Now, both a UN-declared ceasefire and Russian efforts for a daily pause in fighting to evacuate civilians have so far largely failed. This is Michal Bardavid for CGTN in Istanbul.